The Goblin returns and is already proven to be one of Spider-Man's most persistent and mysterious foes, while in issue 24, what makes Spider-Man go mad, and who is the mystery villain behind it all? Let's find out. Issue 23. The Green Goblin is back and he's still got amazing eyelashes, but he's also trying to move in on Lucky Lobo's mob in his first step in taking over the criminal underworld. What a surprise for a 60s villain. It hardly feels ambitious, but there's something about the Goblin already. Here in his 4th issue, there's no backstory, no overarching plan. He's just a menace with a big bag full of tricks, yet there is something about him. Despite his comical appearance and overzealous lashes, this isn't another Stiltman or the Enforcers. Something is already screaming at you. Something tells you he's going to be one of Spidey's biggest foes. Anyways, the cops turn up just as Gigi speeds off and the paper paints him as a hero, raiding the city's various mobsters. Meanwhile, Peter Parker has a major issue. His Spidey suit is still wet. He goes to visit Betty. She's not at her desk. Oh, who's this? Mail from Ned Leeds.
Oh my god, that's like the 60s version of finding a text from an ex.
Well, before Pete can delete the letter, he notices Jameson talking to someone, Foswell, previously known as the Big Man. He's been released from jail and JJJ is hiring him back.
616 Justice at it again. In one day out the next.
That's it. But what's this? Foswell is on an arc of redemption and used his old underworld contacts to lay his hand on Lucky Lobo's financial details. Meanwhile, Spidey tracks the Green Goblin to Lobo's headquarters, hoping the two take each other out. Well, he's almost right because Spider-Man takes out all the goons, even while taking a break to talk to the evil Overlord May. But Spider-Man realizes that the Goblin was only using him to take out the competition, so finds him and is all like, "Hey, I ain't no hammer and nail. I'm no tool for you to just use me as you will. You didn't even get me a Valentine's Day card." And the Goblin is all like, "Well, you're such a needy biatch. I get dressed up and put on my fake eyelashes and you can't even give me a compliment. Just attack, attack, attack. I'm out of here." So the Goblin's out, only to find that all of Lobo's gangs were captured, so there's no manpower for him to take over the gang. He argues that he's no better off than he was, but I mean, hey, eyelashes, am I right? I guess that's to make up for the fact that we still never get to see his face or the man behind the mask. And we end with Pete, still suspicious of Foswell and still suspicious of Betty, who didn't tell him about Ned Leeds' letter. So to finish it off, for once, Pete just sits there and thinks how sucky his life is.
His life is sucky.
Now you're getting it. Peter Parker loves Call of Duty, and he gets a new copy for $6.75.
I don't think...
Shut up. Nah, shut up. Call of Duty, no logical explanation needed. Later, Spidey stops yet another bank robbery and gets some snaps, just as Foswell turns up as a reporter wanting to ask Spidey some questions. Drat. Now Pete can't sell his photos to Jameson because, well, Foswell will be all like, "Nah, man, no one else was there." That could give Pete's identity away. But Pete's at the Bugle anyway, and while he's trying to hide from Jameson to see Betty, he finds another letter from Ned Leeds.
Another?
They're still writing to each other.
That hussy.
So Pete gets all out of shape because I don't know, I guess it's like sexting in today's era and it just wasn't done. But it does seem a little overdramatic. All good though, because Liz Allen wants Pete to help him study.
Ooh. He got over that Betty girl quickly.
What can we say? Boy's a stud. Now back at the Bugle, JJJ is visited by a psychiatrist called Dr. Ludwig, who says he can prove Spider-Man is a nutcase. And Jameson is all like, "Hell yeah, I don't need no referral. Let's give this guy anything he wants." So Jameson runs a newspaper article and Pete reads it and is like, "Wait, am I crazy? Am I just making everything up in my head? And he storms out, but Flash is following him because of Liz, which I mean is really possessive behaviour. Of course, Spidey can ditch him quite easily, which he does, but then he's faced with Dr. Octopus.
What? Where did he come from?
And then the Sandman.
What?
And then the Vulture.
Oh, my poor, poor heart.
But they're illusions, and all of them vanish, one after the other.
You idiot. Why didn't you say so?
Spidey reels on the rooftop, wondering if he really is going crazy. So crazy, he goes fish eyes. What's fish eyes, you ask? This. Yeah. Madness. It must be madness. Surely everything he believed was fake. He's not really a superhero. It's all in his head. Desperate, he seeks the help of Dr. Ludwig, but when he gets there, the whole room is upside down. Once upright, the doctor sits him down as visions of his past foes dance around him. The doctor tells him that there is still a chance. It may still be reversible. He tells him that maybe there's a chance he can be fixed if he just admits who he is, admits his real identity so that his spider identity will be destroyed. On the edge of despair, Spider-Man is ready to do anything, ready to reveal his identity if it means he can stay sane. And just as he's about to spill it all out, Jameson bursts in. He's run Ludwig's credentials, only to find he's a fake. Spidey puts two and two together. They were in cahoots. Even Flash turns up angry that someone tried to spoil Spidey's good name. Ludwig runs and Spider-Man tackles him, only to reveal that his true identity is Mr. Spock.
What?
I mean, Mysterio. So Spider-Man wins again, and old Jameson laments, realizing if he hadn't burst in, Spidey would have finally revealed who he was. Suck it, Jameson. Speaking of Jameson sucking it, this title may as well be Jameson Stuffs Up Again. Looking back, I don't know how they could ever seek to redeem old JJJ. He's by all definitions a complete dick, like a bigger dick than I remember, and his motives are so paper thin, but he makes a solid non-villain antagonist in those early days, so let's get to it. Pete's been tutoring Liz Allen, but poor Liz hasn't learned a thing except how dreamy our Pete really is when he gets his brain on. Oh, and he uses said brain to twist the narrative on some photos he took of Spidey beating up some crooks so Jameson will buy them, and Betty is all butthurt about Pete dissing on Spider-Man. So that hole he's been digging with Betty for a few issues is just getting bigger and bigger, and he doubles down when some dude turns up saying he built a robot that can beat Spider-Man, and Pete's like, hell yeah, this will make some great photos. What could go wrong?
It's a killer robot. Like a lot.
Yeah, exactly. Now we have a story. And it turns out that yes, the robot is more capable than it looks. Not hard, because it looks like a piece of poop. And its abilities is to do this like spaghetti tendrily thing. Anyways, later at school, Flash is all up in Pete's face because of Liz and says he'll be waiting after school for him.
Fight!
But of course, Pete knows the robot is coming after him and he needs to skedaddle, which makes him look a little yeller, if you know what I mean. But here's the thing about Pete. He's got spider powers, so he gives him a slip, he does. And as the robot turns up and on its monitor, the ugly mug of J. Jonah Jameson body webs it. It does nothing. He dodges the tendrils, he moves, he evades, all to the menacing laughter of J. Jonah Jameson. Speaking of which, back at the Bugle, Betty tries to run interference for a second by pulling out the power. Annoyed because it was a good act and you hate her, right?
Shut up.
Well, get this. Betty then goes to see Pete. So does Liz. They all turn up at the same time to Pete's house.
Oh my God, the drama.
Only to find another girl waiting for Pete, the niece of Mrs. Watson from next door.
The drama, so much drama.
Of course, we don't see her face, but they comment that she looks like a movie star.
Wait, is she the Green Goblin?
Back with Spidey, and Jameson finally catches up with the robot. Spidey struggles, but it's too much. He twists and he turns, but to no avail. Fortunately, he has sticky fingers. Not the Rolling Stones record, but literal sticky fingers, and he can remove the back casing of the robot. Jameson is in pursuit. Now he can finally unmask Spider-Man, but when he gets there, the spider suit is empty. Pete escaped and left it behind. Jameson is foiled again. Overall, 3 solid but not standout issues. The Goblin's 4th appearance mark him as Spidey's most capped foe with the most appearances, though he's still far away from being the true menace that he will become. It's a slow burn in all the best ways, and I'm really enjoying it, as is the introduction of the criminal underworld, and I honestly feel that modern Spider-Man loses out as he doesn't really deal with those street-level politics anymore. Issue 24, solid, but the ending was great. I honestly didn't suspect Mysterio, though in hindsight it makes complete sense, but the reveal was a genuine surprise for me. Issue 25's villain, Jameson, and what you could probably argue as a pre-Spider Slayer model, was a little lackluster, but this issue holds up for 2 reasons. 1, the Betty-Liz triangle with Pete, proving that Pete's personal life is still as fun to watch as Spider-Man's action, and 2, the first appearance of Mary Jane. Face not included, but making the love triangle a love square.
That's not a thing.
Yeah, well neither are you.
Harsh, man. Harsh.
Hey, thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this approach, please like and subscribe for more videos. And remember, if you're interested in reading the full story, the easiest way is to sign up to Marvel Unlimited at marvel.com/unlimited. I need to breathe.